Welcome back to my series Introduction to Music Reading. This video will introduce two new note values, the whole note and dotted half note, and I will explain tied notes. Before learning about new rhythms, let's review what you've learned so far. The quarter note has a filled-in note head with a stem and equals 1 count. The half note also has a stem, but the note head is not filled in and equals 2 counts, meaning the note sounds for 2 counts. And remember, the counting is steady like a pendulum swinging. If you need a reminder about counting, review video 3, Counting. The dotted half note is equal to 3 counts. It is a half note with a, surprise, a dot next to it. Hence the name dotted half note. So the instrument will sound for 3 steady counts. Look at the tape measure on the screen. Each inch is the same distance as the other two. Keep the beat steady. A whole note is equal to 4 counts. Like a half note, it's not filled in, and unlike the quarter note, half note, and dotted half note, it doesn't have a stem, just the oval. When music is printed with a printer, the half notes and whole notes will have thicker, thinner lines like this. The ovals I have for half notes and whole notes in the videos and music on my website are the same as these notes. It's too tedious to draw the thick, thin lines in when drawing notes by hand. The handwritten note receives the same number of counts as the similar-looking note made with a printer. The thickness of the lines is not what determines how long the note is held. It is whether the note is filled in or not, and has a stem or not, and has a dot or not. The longest note value is the whole note, 4 counts. For a note longer than 4 counts, 2 or more notes are tied together. The example here shows a half note, 2 counts tied to a dotted half note, 3 counts. 2 plus 3 equals 5. The tie marking is the curvy line connecting the notes. Continue the sound from the first note to the second note. Don't replay the second note. Let me show you how the tie works by demonstrating a rather long tie. In this example, the tie is 4 whole notes. In order for notes to be tied together, they need to be the same pitch. All these notes are in space number 2 of the bass clef. I'll warn you now, there's another curvy line music symbol, and it has nothing to do with tying notes together. If you're reading music now and see a curvy line connecting notes, make sure each note is on the same line or space as the previous note. Remember, each whole note equals 4 counts, so this note in the bass clef will sound a total of 16 counts. 4 counts times 4 measures. On the piano, the sound will gradually fade away. That is what the composer wants. If you're playing on an electric keyboard, the sound may last a couple of counts, then stop. That is an issue with using electric keyboards versus a piano. Wind players, at least beginners, may not be asked to hold a whole note this long due to breath support. I'm using a fairly long tie to convey this idea of how a tie works. This is what it would sound like. Here's an example of tying a note from one measure to the next. Check out the next video to find out about the other curvy line called legato. Be sure to look at my website, ABCsOfPiano.com, for videos 1 through 8, as well as information about Skype beginning piano lessons and a list of beginning piano books.